Здравствуйте, меня зовут Richard Gon, приятно познакомиться. Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So in this time, you may hear some noises coming from outside this residence. So anyway, so this time, so anyway, so I frequently digress when recording or when creating episodes of my podcast. So which is why so I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode at in the beginning of this episode. So because I often frequently I often freq I often digress. Well, I frequently digress when creating episodes. Because I don't know. So I don't know, but and moreover, or in addition to that frequent, or in addition to those frequent digressions, so my story, well, how I speak is really redundant in many cases. So which is why, so I so in the past on one date in the past, tell the listeners the title and the conclusion in each episode of my podcast. So this time I'm going to tell you the conclusion and the title of this episode. The title is Asian people would find Lenin really cool. And the conclusion is Lenin has various lineages, which is really or very please understand, like so Lenin had various not yeah, of course lineages, but actually so ancestries or so ethnicities, which is really cool in Asian countries, particularly in Japan. So so for example, in this country, some mixed people look really cool, or some the local Japanese people or the local people in this country find some mixed people really cool or really popular, and particularly if and so mixed people have many lineages, and in some cases for example, so some people are mixed with Asia ethnic different Asian ethnic groups. For example, some mixed people are some mixed people have Japanese lineage and a Korean lineage, stuff like that. So, and another, in the case of other people, so some people have a Japanese lineage and a Chinese lineage. Anyway, so the situation is stuff like that. And so how should I explain? Anyway, so so but actually, so if you are familiar with some Asian countries, you may know with this fact, and which is some people mixed with white people, or some people mixed with Caucasian people are really popular, and really such people are found cool. Anyway, so of course, there must be various opinions, but actually, so thinking about or picking up the general tendency or the general likelihood in such a popularity of or in such a trend of mixed people in this country, at least in this country, so some people mixed with white people, or some people having, for example, Western European lineages, like France, Germany, and Great Britain. So in the case of such people mixed, having such Western European lineages or ethnicities, so those people tend to be, or those people are likely to be really popular. For example, popular students, or cool cool colleagues, or cool people. Anyway, there is such a how should I say, there is such a belief, or there is such a mood in this country, and which is the case to other Asian countries. So for example, maybe you can hear some noises coming from outside, and so maybe I may frequently stop this recording because of some noises. Anyway, so because of some noises, and yeah. Anyway, so which is a general tendency of this country, and in the case of other countries, for example, in Thailand, there is a story that some a company to try to create some commercial movie or commercial video in which a white woman was washing her own body, and it's on the screen. It turned out to be no, some black woman was washing her own body, and after finishing washing her own body, so she changed to be a white woman, which means so black woman. So not according to. So in the story, or in the context of that commercial video or commercial movie in Thailand, so so black in the story of that commercial video, so black woman represents dirtiness and violence, or the white woman represents well, a white woman represents cleanliness or cleanness. So so let me tell you again. So of course, So I don't think all the black women are dirty, and I don't think all the white women are clean. But actually, so the general image. So what I have just told you is a general image which might be inferred, or which might be implied, or which might be given by the commercial video or commercial movie in Thailand. And finally, so according to according to the information I have got before, so that commercial movie was ceased to be broadcasted, which is what I heard, or that I don't know the details of that commercial video in Thailand, but actually, so maybe that had been once broadcasted, but actually, it turned out to be really a wrong stuff. Or it turned out to be really a disgusting stuff, because so that commercial video, so that commercial movie in Thailand indicated, or that Thai commercial video indicated that so the story is so black women. The black woman who was washing her own body looked really dirty, because that black women, or all the black women have black skins, and that according at least so what is indicated in the commercial video is that that the black woman was dirty, and she was washing her own body in that commercial video, and she changed to be, or she became a white person, or a white woman that white woman who had an image of cleanliness or cleanness, and so by washing the body of that woman, so the black woman or the dirty woman changed and became clean white woman, which is the image given by that commercial video. And anyway, so like which, so what I have just told you is just an example of the general mood, or the general atmosphere in Asian countries, that that the general mood, or the general atmosphere is that so white people are superior, or white people are ranked in higher positions than the rest of the people, or the rest of the peoples, or the rest of the ethnic groups all over the world, which is there is such an atmosphere, or there is such a mood in Asian countries, and including this country. So the local people in Asian countries have such kind of understanding, or have such kind of psychological mood, or psychological atmosphere, or at least they live under such psychological atmosphere. Anyway, So what I have just told you is a presumable condition of for telling you for explaining the ethnic groups or the ethnicities of Mr. Lenin. So I should have spoken out Mr. Lenin instead of Lenin without saying Mr. So Lenin. So I investigated using Wikipedia, and I so about Lenin. I investigated things about Mr. Lenin using Wikipedia, and so I got a page. I got the English version of Wikipedia in explaining or writing about Lenin or Mr. Lenin, and he has ethnicities. He has the ethnicities or the lineages of Russian, German, Swedish, Jewish, Chuvash, and Kalmyk. And so, according to this online piece of information, so maybe you can understand the meaning of Russian, German, Swedish, Jewish. And to start with, so I don't know whether you know that, so there's a city named Saint Petersburg in Russia, and Saint Petersburg was established by Peter the Great, was Peter the First, or Peter the Great, who had been an emperor in Empire Russia. And anyway, what I'd like to tell you is that, so before St. Petersburg, or before the St. Petersburg was built in the present place, so there was a Swedish fortress, was at least, so St. Petersburg is a territory of Russian Federation, but actually, so that place that territory was taken from or conquered by Empire Russia, or conquered by Russian country, and that territory was taken away from some Swedish country before the current Swedish country. Anyway, so it was the Swedish kingdom. Before the current Swedish kingdom, there had been many dynasties of Swedish countries, and Sweden was larger than, or Sweden had larger than the current territory in the past. And that's the maybe largest territory of some Swedish country included the place where St. Petersburg was located. So St. Petersburg is located in this present time, but actually, that place was taken by Russian country in the past, or in hundred years before. Anyway, so I'm not an expert of Russian history, but actually, anyway, so there is such a background. So which is why maybe, so it can be natural that, so there are some close contacts and collisions between Russia and German, and Russia and Germany and Sweden. So, and there are many Jewish people actually. So I don't know whether this pronunciation is correct, but Chuvash people is a branch of wait a moment please. This is a Turkish ethnic group, I think. And Turkish, maybe Turkic ethnic group. And what is Turkic ethnic group is, wait a moment please. Turkic ethnic group is a group of Turkic peoples, and who are anyway, so the typical example of this Turkic peoples is Turkey, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. And anyway, these people are categorized into these Turkic peoples. And so I don't know much about Tajik peoples. And so one of the branch ethnic group is maybe a Chuvash people, and Mr. Lenin has that Chuvash ancestry, and another group is Kalmyks. So I investigated online. So, but actually, and so what is surprising? So I was surprised to know that Kalmyks is a Mongolian ethnic group. So so Mongolian people. So how Mongolian people look like is how Eastern Asian people look like. So which means those people, many white people know that Asian people have seeing eyes. So so which is why some people make fun of Asian or East Asian people by imitating their by so by slightly closing your own eyes or the eyes of those white people on their own, and so for imitating or mimicking their seeing eyes. So there's such a such a manner of teasing or making fun of East Asian people. But actually, so so if you so if I tell you, so the impact or the sense or the understanding is like so so if I tell you, so if we happen to meet each other, which is a well if we happened to meet each other, so which is a hypothetical situation, and if we happened to meet each other, and if I told you that I was from Mongolia, so you would believe. So stuff like that. The appearance of Mongolian people is stuff like that. So because as you know, if you are frequent listeners of my podcast, you know that I'm an East Asian person, and I live in Japan, and I'm a Japanese person. Japanese, I mean, adult content creator. Anyway, so so what is surprising is that Mr. Lenin had a lineages of ours. I'm a Mongoloid, or I'm not a Mongolian, but actually, so Mongolian people look like East Asian people, which is why I got some I felt some closeness or some kind of not sympathy, but actually intimacy. I felt some intimacy to Mr. Lenin through the lineage he has or he had, because Mr. Lenin had passed away long before. Like which, so anyway, so what I want to tell you is that as I told you, so so I'm going to end this episode because I have told you, or I have explained enough to you. So the title is Asian people would find Lenin really cool, and the conclusion is Lenin had various lineages, which is really cool in Asian countries and particularly in Japan. So taking a look at the photo or the picture of the countenance of Mr. Lenin, or the face of Mr. Lenin, so you can easily find him a white person or white male person, and but actually thinking about the lineages he had. So he was a mixed person. He was a mixed person with white people and Middle Eastern people, maybe Turkic people maybe can be Turkic people can be categorized into Middle Eastern people, and so anyway, Mr. Lenin had the lineages or the ethnicities of white people and Turkic or Middle Eastern people and Asian people. So which is why if he was in this country in this present time, he would have, so it can be easily expected that he would have become really a popular guy in this country, because so to start with, he looked really handsome, or he looked really cool, and apart from it, he had lineages of those various lineages. And so I'm sorry for the sound of that buzzer. of that bazaar of car. Anyway, so another example is that Brad Pitt. Wait a moment, please. So there's an actor who had various lineages or ancestries. So maybe he had many lineages. According to a piece of information of Japanese language, and I'm reading Wikipedia. I'm reading Wikipedia. And to start with, so Mr. Brad Pitt has lineages of England, Scotland, Welsh, Ireland, and Northern Ireland, and Germany. Anyway, he also has many lineages, and such an information is not written in the English version of Wikipedia of the page of Mr. Brad Pitt. Anyway, so the situation is stuff like that. So like which so such people having many lineages or many ethnicities look really cool and look really handsome in my country. And before, maybe in the past maybe decades before, mixed people had been valued, or mixed people had been looked down even in this country. But actually, so maybe after World War II or after the Second World War, those mixed people came to or those mixed people with white people came to look cool or handsomer, which is the background of this country. But actually, I think I don't know from when other Asian countries began to find such mixed people really cool. But actually, so in the case of this country, maybe after the Second World War, those mixed people with white people began to look handsomer. So which is what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.